السلام عليكم يا جماعة عاملين ايه؟ So today we're gonna be talking about the script. Let me give you a briefing كده about it. First of all, my name is Abdurrahman, as I already told you before, and pretty much you have seen my videos, but I make videos more recently as we change the scripts or change concepts or there are any kind of updates that you should know about. Okay? So in this video, we're just gonna talk about the script exclusively. Just the script, pretty much that we use for USA and Canada shift. Script version 3.1. Okay? So talking about the script, first of all, you need to understand that the script and the words which are the words that you say are the only thing that the client you're talking to would be able to imagine you or to see you based on the words that you say. And that's why we always push for everyone to memorize the script. Why? Because English is our second language, even for myself. So what always happens that once you start freestyling, you're gonna be having some grammar mistakes, uh, some phrases that doesn't make sense. You're gonna be having some pauses just to think about the right words to say, and that's very bad for the conversation because this is not um, like face-to-face sales. This is cold calling, telemarketing through phone. So what happened is that the client imagine you through the words that you say. Okay? So that's why you should memorize the script because that's the only way he's gonna see you. And we want him to see you professionally in a very good way and don't have any doubts that you call from anywhere else except Toronto, Canada, our main office over there in 180 Brody Drive. Okay? So, for you also to understand how these clients would see you, from the first impression of the call, he's just gonna imagine one of two options. Either you are a successful um, salesperson who's working in a nice Empire State Building as an example, and you have an office overlooking having very nice view overlooking some gardens and so on, and you are getting paid very well and you're comfortable, and even if you close this deal or talk to this client or not, you're good salary, good person, you're not pushing, and you're selling a quality product. That's why you're comfortable and uh, you're confident, okay? Or the other option where he's gonna visualize you in it is that you are a scammer talking from somewhere but not Toronto, Canada. You're just pushy and you're hesitated, lots of grammar mistakes. So, which means that that's unprofessional, which means that whatever product you're selling, it's most probably a scam, and most probably you're lying in each and every word you're saying. Why? Because your company is underpaying you and you hate the company, you hate the atmosphere, you want to leave as soon as possible from your job. So just trying to say the words and go on with other call, try to scam as many people as possible. And we don't want this to happen. Okay? That's why I need you to memorize the script. Make sure you just say the exact same words in the script with the exact same impressions that I will be explaining to you now. Because let's agree on this. That's a rule in each and every script. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So the emotions and the tonality are very important, even more than the words that you will say. Okay? So let me at the very beginning explain to you the structure of the script. So the structure at the very beginning, there is kind of greeting, because pretty much each and every call that you're gonna make, you're gonna call directly to the gatekeeper. That's actually more than 70% of the industries. There is gatekeeper, and her job, by the way, is to make sure you don't talk to the business owner. Why? Because he's paying her not to make sure that she filters the call so you don't waste his time. And that's why she will try to know as many information as possible from you, grab all the information, and even if you try to explain to her the product, she's going to tell you we're not interested, while she's not even the DM on this, but she's just not interested because she wants to turn this call off, because she don't want to bother the owner, because most probably she receives every day around 6 to 10 calls selling them online advertising, and 99% are already scamming companies that they have tried before and they got scammed before, and they don't want this to happen again. That's why she wants to push you away as hard as possible. And that's also why you should not be having any kind of conversations with the gatekeeper. Your job with the gatekeeper is just to put her in the corner that this is only your job. Your job is that me as a salesperson, I ask you about if the owner is available or not. So if he's available, you just put me through to him. If not, so when exactly should I call him? And it's gonna be preferable if you would also grab his name and his direct number. But this is the only conversation that should happen between you and the gatekeeper. Just if the availability to talking to the decision maker on something like this on the marketing, which is, by the way, in all the small to mid-sized businesses, it's just the business owner. Okay? But not to talk about the company, what we sell, what's the benefits of it, is it a good company or not, to tell, like, to spell out the name of the company, Wisdek, or to give her the postcode and where are you located. And no, don't have this conversation with the gatekeeper. Your job with the gatekeeper, owner available, yes, put me through. No, when would be the best time to call him, what's his name and what's his cell phone number. Bye bye, that's it. Just a 30 minutes conversation. Okay, don't get dragged off your way to talk about just side conversations. Okay, and that's why even this question exists. We work with other, and you're going to say the name of the industry that you're dialing. Let's say you're dialing plumbers, okay, سباكين. So we work with other plumbing companies, and I got a question for him. Okay, let's say if she's more persistent, like, so why do you want to talk to him? So this question is there just to make sure that she's not able to answer it. And what happened is that she's either going to decide to put you through or just to hang up on you. So could you take more extra jobs in the next month or two? I need to discuss specifics with the owner. So this question puts her in the corner that, well, I cannot answer this question because I'm not authorized and I don't have enough information. So, okay, I either put him through or I just tell him he's not available now, call back later. Okay? And try, it's not guaranteed, but try to get the cell phone number for the owner and try to get his name. So your next call is going to be easier than the first call. Why? Because you're going to be already having the owner name. That's if you just took the owner name. If you also took his direct number, that's even easier because that's 25% of your opening is already done by talking to the owner directly. Okay? So then, once you reach the owner, so that's what you say. I know I'm interrupting here, but do you mind if I grab 30 seconds? And here, don't pause, like don't put pauses because, of course, if you, by the way, if you ask someone is it a good time or not? Of course, he's going to tell you it's not a good time. If you ask someone, can I talk to you now or later? Of course, he's going to tell you later. Why? Because you are a telemarketer. He understands that you are selling him something, and he has a feeling just deep inside that he's not interested, and he's just waiting for the right time and the right phrase and the right exit door that you will open for him. So he's going to tell you, I'm not interested, or no, I don't have time, or let's do it later. So don't open these doors and don't say phrases that will open the doors for him to exit and end the conversation. Okay? So I will tell you why I called, and then you can let me know if it's relevant or not. Again, don't pause, just keep talking, okay? All of these phrases has to be said like one shot, one block. So are you taking on more, let's say if his uh, plumber, let's say, are you taking on more jobs or plumbing work right now, whatever? Or are you booked out? So why would you ask this question? This question just to qualify for you the person that you're talking to, if he's open for more jobs or he already has like thousands or hundreds already of jobs, and his problem now is labor just to fulfill the already existing jobs that he has. So his problem is with the labor. So these type of industries or this type of person, we're not able to help him. Why? Because this exact person, he doesn't need more jobs. He already have more jobs, but he needs labor to finish these jobs. And that's when the conversation is over. Like you cannot do anything about it. They already are having enough business. Everything is going well with them. So your job is done here. Like entry door is closed. You cannot do anything. So let's say they are open, like to listen or open, okay, uh, how, or any kind of question or any kind of words that will give you the impression that they are open for discussion about this. So that's when you continue talking. I don't even know if it's worth either of us talking. That's why I'm checking. So before I waste any of your time, if more good jobs showed up next month, could you run them? A couple or real volume, like 5, 10 extra jobs a month? And then you continue, just don't pause, okay? So we pick one plumbing company per city and go all in on making them the one that gets the calls. So what we do is plain and simple. We make, and let's say the industry that you're dialing is plumbing, so we make plumbers the one ChatGPT and Google recommended. And here is what that actually looked like. We rebuilt the site for Windows and Doors company. They pulled 135 leads in 4 months. A dig builder, 14 leads in his first 3 weeks. A solar and HVAC company, 7 leads the first week. All new customers. All found them through Google and AI. That's the outcome. So you even see how I'm saying the words. So you have to have tonality, you have to have energy in your call, to put emotions in each and every word, just to make sure that that's the difference, by the way, between you and the robot, between you and the AI. Emotions, knowing exactly where to raise your voice, knowing exactly where to lower your voice, and so on. So that's why I'm always saying tonality, energy, emotions are most important even than the words that you even say. So it's again, it's about how you say it, not what you say. Okay? And then you continue the conversation. So, by the way, do you ever use ChatGPT and AI answer at the top of Google to find company or get a recommendation? So, this question, it's just to prove that what you said is already correct. That nowadays, 2026, people are just using ChatGPT, using AI, whatever the provider is, to get some answers or even to buy a product. People nowadays no longer, uh, I'm not going to say no longer because still some people use google.com just to search for products or whatever, but we are going like into the way where more people leaves Google as a search engine, Bing as a search engine, and using AI as a search engine instead. Why? Because they get to have a kind of detailed conversation with them. Okay? So this question just to prove that what you already said is correct. And then of course you agree with him. So right, so do your customers. More of them every month. We build websites on a new technology that loads in under 1 second. And it is exactly what Google and AI systems want. That's what gets you jobs from ranking on top of Google. That's what gets you recommended by ChatGPT. And that's what turns a visitor into a lead or a phone call. We have got nearly 30 years and thousands of projects, and every claim I just made, we can show you live. Most of your competitors don't even know this thing yet. It's worth seeing, not hearing, and this is actually the part where you switch from words, just saying that we are great, you are the best company, we can like take you up to the sky and touch the stars and so on, which is pretty much that everyone always say the same words. That's when you switch to evidence, switch to actual evidence that, well, everyone says we are great. Let me show you how great we are. That's what differentiates you between all the other companies, that it's not just words, it's words plus evidence. And that's when you show him an example to one of our existing clients that appears pretty much everywhere on Google, on ChatGPT, on Google AI, Gemini, and so on. So that's to prove that what you just said and claimed, it's already have been done and has been proven, and you have existing clients already. Now you're doing this, applying this new technology on them, and it's successful technology, and they are already dominating everywhere, AI and Google and whatever. Okay? So you tell him, I need you to go to Google, or I need you to Google, and then you say the keyword that he's gonna type, and ask him, well, do you see the company called, which is, by the way, that should be our existing client. And of course, make sure to spell the name exactly for him. Your voice is clear, and make sure that you navigate him through the results that he's gonna see. Well, if he typed this keyword, so type it on Google, you're gonna see sponsored ads at the very beginning, scroll down a bit, and then you're gonna see our client. So navigate him through. Don't just tell him the keyword and that's it. Navigate him through seeing our existing client. Okay? And then you tell him, once he see the client, you tell him, as you see, and that's the name of the business that is one of our existing clients, dominates all Google results, along with hundreds of quality leads. He is one of our existing clients who we drive to his website quality leads by dominating all the search engines and AI models, ChatGPT and Gemini. And that's very important. You should separate the conversation. All this part was the since part. Okay? Now it's the therefore part. So since everything you said, now you're asking this question and you should be confident while asking this question. So, well, now my question is, would you be interested in getting something like this for your website? And you don't say a word. Why? Because we need to hear what he's going to say. Is it buying questions or buy questions? And that's where you should differentiate between the two types of questions, buying questions and buy questions. So buying questions, let's say if the client asks you, how much would it cost? So we already have in the objections, rebuttals, like talking about this, and also you need to stick to the answer that is written uh, in the objections rebuttal, just around 5 or 6 objections with their rebuttals. All of them are the same concept. You just say these couple of lines and get back to the script, get back to where you stopped. So let's say if he told you, I'm not interested, you're going to say these words and then show him an example. Let's say if you showed him an example and then he told you, I'm not interested. So you say these words and get back to now. My question is, would you be interested in getting something like this for your website, and so on. And then whatever the questions you're gonna say, which is should be buying questions, like well, it's according to what kind of packages do you offer, guys? What do you exactly do? How do you do this exactly? Do you have someone in my industry? Let's say if the guy is real estate, so he's gonna ask you, so, do you have an example, or can you show me a real estate client? Like any kind of buying questions, you just say these phrases. So, let me transfer the call to one of our Google certified experts. He will be able to show you case studies, pricing options, and answer any technical questions you might have. Would you be able to spare him a few minutes? Guys, make sure you're going to say, would you be able to spare him a few minutes? Why? Because some people would say, okay, hold on for 1 second. Okay, 1 minute, and I'm going to get him for you. Or would you be able just to hold for 1 minute? All of these 1 minute, 1 second words are going to give the client the impression that someone will talk to him for a couple of minutes, just answer his question over the phone, and that's it. No, I want to prepare the client for a long conversation, 20 to 40 minutes conversation with the closer, where they're gonna do share screen, go Google Meet or on Zoom, do share screen. The closer would show him case studies, show him examples, show him leads that have been already delivered to our existing clients, and that's when the closer can increase and go to the peak interest with the client, which is it's going to increase the probability of this client getting closed. So how you prepare for this as an opener, you make sure that he's prepared mentally for a long conversation with the closer, not just 1 minute conversation to answer a question and that's it. And that's why I need you to say, would you be able to spare him a few minutes? And don't send a client unless you showed him the example. Why? Because I need him in front of a computer. If the client is not in front of a computer, don't send him to the closer. Just schedule another call. Let's say if you reach this part of the script, okay? And then it's worth seeing not here. I need you to Google whatever the keyword for me. So if the guy told you I don't have internet or I don't have a computer, so you just don't skip to, well, let me transfer you. No, just schedule a callback whenever he's going to be having internet access. He's in front of his computer, and then show him the example, and then say these exact words, and make sure he can spare him few minutes, and then send him to the closer. Okay, so that's the right order of sending a qualified transfer. And how I do qualify the transfer, it's not to go into complicated matters like time, interest, money, so he should have time. No, it's very easy and simple for you as an opener. If the closer exceeded 30 minutes talking to your prospect, so he is qualified. Why? Because they are having a business conversation for 30 minutes. So he is qualified because they are talking that much long and they are discussing business. More than 30 minutes on a transfer is a qualified transfer. Less than this, most probably it's not qualified because the client just wants an answer to his question and that's it, bye bye. He's not interested into a long conversation with the closer. He's not interested into case studies, pricing options, and technical stuff. Okay? And make sure also to memorize the frequently asked questions. It's pretty much easy. يعني, uh, nothing hard about it, just some basic words that would give you the chance to like maneuver the question and go back to the script to explain the product if you haven't explained the product, or to show him a script or to show him an example if you haven't already showed him an example. Okay, and the example, by the way, would be provided by the closer for each shift, and it's actually also according to the time. Like sometimes we show examples, some other times we show different examples, and so on. So the example and the keyword related to that example is going to be provided to you through the closer that works with you in the shift. But let me show you here a simple example. Um, let's say, hold on, uh, just to show you the the product itself for you as an opener to understand the product. Let's say if you went to google.com and we typed luxury windows Toronto. By the way, we have a client called Opulence Systems. That's our existing client. So if someone wants to buy luxury windows in Toronto and typed on Google luxury windows Toronto, so these are the sponsored results. So skip the sponsored. That's number one sponsored, two sponsored, three sponsored, and that's number one in the organic placements. Our client, Opulence Architectural Opulence Systems, Luxury Windows and Doors Toronto. This is our client. And this is, let's say, if you're showing him an example, you should navigate him, tell him type in Google Luxury Windows Toronto, and then skip the sponsor results, where the sponsor results, as I already, by the way, explained before, in the training, that these people pay per click. And then here are the natural placements. Let's hide the sponsored ads. This is our client number one in the organic placements. Okay, and then you see the map section, and then you see different uh, companies. And also, by the way, Eurostar Windows is also our client. Let's say how the client would make sure that this is our client. We can claim or we can lie uh, that this is our client. So if he click on the website, Luxury Windows and Doors Toronto, scroll down to the bottom of the page, here you go. It says powered by Wisdek. And if he clicked, it's going to take him to our website. That's a simple proof that that's us. Okay? We made this website, and this is our client. Okay? So that's a simple example. Let's say if that's on Google, but let's say if I want the AI mood, Gemini mood. So luxury Windows Toronto in AI mood. So AI mood is saying Toronto features several premier luxury Windows providers, and you see, so the AI mood in Google, which is Gemini, by the way, it's presenting Opulence, which is our client, and saying great words about him and presenting him as number one or the best option for the client. And then they give them other options. By the way, Eurostar Windows also is our client. So 2 out of 3 recommendations of Gemini is our clients. Let's say if the client on Chat GBT, and let's say who sell uh, uh, luxury windows in Toronto. You see, if I ask ChatGPT who sells luxury windows on Toronto, so ChatGPT recommend Opulence, which is our client, as the first option. You see, it put a table and says that's the best option. So, and there are of course different options. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the technology, by the way, you're selling, which is to make a client of our, a client who would sign up with us, dominates everywhere, dominates the traditional person who wants to search on Google, just Google, on Bing, on Yahoo.com, our client would appear. Someone more into technology, more modern, using whatever AI model, Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever, we also will make sure our client would be recommended by those AI models to his clients, which will lead to him getting qualified leads, getting more people to call him, getting more people to deal with him, getting more people to buy from him, which is more business for him. So that's our target. That's pretty much the product that you're offering. Okay. So that's it for now. I guess that's pretty much everything with the script. And also, let me repeat it one more time. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Make sure you are energetic. So, energy, tonality, spirit, it's the three essential components of success. Okay? Energy, tonality, and spirit. So ربنا يوفقكم إن شاء الله. I wish you the best of luck. And that's it for now. السلام عليكم.